My name is Amy Margaris, and I'm an assistant professor of anthropology, and I'm the archaeologist in the anthropology department. So I teach classes in archaeology and a class on human origins. I also teach classes on hunter-gatherers and colonialism. So pretty much the full gamut of the entire human experience through the span of time.
You have natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities. And so anthropology, parts of anthropology overlap with all three of those divisions. Biological anthropologist studies human evolution and is basically a biologist of the primate order, right? And so that's very much a natural science. There's a social science element of it. I'm a cultural anthropologist and I look at contemporary peoples and societies. There is also the humanities element of it. Anthropologists study poetry and translation and try to contextualize it in its cultural context. Archaeologists look at the same sorts of things that an art historian looks at. You know, here at Oberlin, we intersect with those fields in all sorts of different ways.
Between all of us, we do cover the 4 subdisciplines of anthropology. So archaeology, again, the biological aspect, and also cultural and linguistic anthropology. And then we have a special program here in archaeology. We have an interdisciplinary major that's separate from the anthropology major, but obviously very connected in some ways. It's interdisciplinary, and I sit on a committee along with folks from art and classics, and students can choose to also major in archaeology and take classes in any of those disciplines and the natural sciences also. I love working with students outside the classroom. It's totally fun for me. It's great for my research and it's great for my students. So we have a field school sponsored by Susan Kane, who's an archaeologist in the art department, and we think that will be continuing in the future. So that's an opportunity for students to get in the field and for credit. And then this past summer, for the first time, I brought a couple of students with me to Alaska, to Kodiak, Alaska, where I do my archaeological field work. So I had 2 phenomenal students, and we had a great time excavating an early historic site. So we love to find field opportunities for students. And then I also employ research assistants. We do a lot of simple experiments that have to do with prehistoric technology, which is one of my big areas of interest.
We both have classes with Amy and found them to be some of our favorite classes here. And so when she spoke up and said she had need of research assistance, we both kind of jumped on the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it sounded very interesting. In
particular, hunter-gatherer technologies. So we have students replicating ancient technologies using ancient materials and techniques to learn more about how sort of paleo-engineers in the past designed and used their tools.
Last semester we spent time in the lab kind of getting used to flint knapping, which is producing stone tools using kind of prehistoric techniques, and we got used to cutting antler and making measurements, calculating cut rates and things like that, getting acquainted with the data setup.
Yeah, right now we're working on a longitudinal study of antler drying, and we make cuts on antler like this, studying how long it takes for the antler to come to a consistency which we cannot cut through any longer, to kind of see how people of the past, how long they were able to make tools out of antler before having to find another.
The field project that I'm helping get students onto it's really kind of unique. It's a community archaeology project. Which means it's for folks in the city of Kodiak and the vicinity, Kodiak, Alaska. So it's not just for students from outside, but it's a native-run and largely native-funded enterprise. And it's sponsored by the Alutiiq Museum and Archaeological Repository, which is a native museum in the city of Kodiak. So it's archaeology sort of for and by the people. I feel very honored to be able to bring students to participate. So they go for about 4 weeks and work with folks from the Kodiak community. Some are students, some are adults, some are retired, a whole mix of people. And the students participate in the whole excavation, from clearing away the sod and the grass to excavating taking careful notes, photographing, collecting charcoal samples, and then putting all the dirt back where it came from at the end, which is maybe the hardest part. Anthropology is so useful for any kind of field where you're working in a foreign community and foreign writ large. In other words, a community that is not sort of familiar to you, where the concept of cultural relativism is important. So any kind of international work, working for the government, working for an NGO, for any of these kinds of jobs, anthropology is awesome. I'm one of those alums that, graduated and just couldn't stay away. I'm so fortunate that I got hired back here after graduate school. So I'm really happy to be, back home at Oberlin. And actually, I like it even better the second time around.
I think that it's a great way for people to kind of live up to some of the ideals that we have as Oberlin students, to learn about other cultures. Like, it just seems really important.
I fully agree, and I just think we have like a really great tight-knit anthropology community at Oberlin, just like a great department. We've both found a lot of great things here.
It's because of the students. The students are so smart and motivated and open-minded, and I love working with them in and also outside of the classroom. They help keep me interested and feeling vibrant about my work and about teaching. It's a very stimulating environment.